What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about self control and how to navigate issues with self control. And I think usually self control is something we think we can resolve with our mind, with like kind of thinking things through and being like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is clearly beneficial to me, right? And it's whether it's like trying to be disciplined, whether it's like trying to impose like willpower, like putting effort into something, or it's doing something you're scared of, taking a leap, um, like pushing through that like anxiety, being like, I want to do this or whatever, or focus and being distracted, whatever it is, just having kind of self control over what you want, you've determined is good for you. It's the direction you want to go, and it's the issue people have with New Year's resolution, right? It's like it's easy to create that idea in your mind of what you want to do, but then we always kind of it's more than likely will it'll fall through. And the issue is self-control is actually an emotional issue. You don't do the thing not because you haven't thought of it well enough or whatever. It's you just don't feel like doing it. You're not your emotional um the emotional side of your brain hasn't agreed to this. You've kind of just agreed to it from kind of your thinking side, right? And that's where people run into problems because you try to resolve it by go doing the thinking process again, being like, okay, like, but this is the plan, like, this is what I want to do. And it just doesn't work that way because you need to resolve it on an emotional level. And with that, you have to, this is where compromise comes in because we often will put the bar of what we need to do much higher than what we're capable of in terms like emotionally being resolved to do the thing. And it takes time, especially the fact that emotions are always temporary. So if you commit to doing something and you feel that motivation, don't expect that motivation isn't going to last, right? So you have to compromise with the fact that okay, my emotions aren't like this isn't going to be a consistent thing. So maybe say okay, I need to push myself a little bit, you know um that's working with your emotional side. That's being aware of that these are my limitations. I'm not really as emotionally resolved to do the thing as I thought I was. And as well as allowing yourself to sort of build that connection to the goal you're trying to achieve over time. So whether that's trying to kind of talk to yourself about the benefits or the things that are going to happen as a result of this thing, which seems really obvious. It's really obvious to be like, obviously this thing is good for me, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to engage with your emotions and kind of nudge yourself, build almost like a value structure towards that thing. So that way you start to naturally have self control because you actually now truly in your unconscious want this thing. And the I think the first issue with self control is just realizing it's an emotional issue. It's not a thinking issue. It's purely just you don't really want to do the thing, and you have to figure out a way to work with your emotions. Because a lot of times people try, suppress their emotions. Like no, just fucking do it. But that's not sustainable. It's really you gotta work with it, and I think having a good relationship with that side of your brain, kind of babying yourself is what actually is sustainable. And I think that's a way of trying to solidify, your New Year's resolution and being more successful with that.